Hey there, guys. We've got news for Global on August 31st, and this week joining me to discuss it is Tommy. So you can say hello, Tommy.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy. I'm a kind of a 5-year member of the Sinzar FFB Help Discord, and my kind of relationship with the game is that I started in the first, I think, month on Global. Never played JP, but I started early enough on Global to get the Magitech Terra unit and then fuse her into Oblivion. So, been playing almost from the get-go.
Nice. And this week, for your first time joining the news video, you get the very exciting Grand Couture Ayaka. Are you excited for this unit, Tommy?
Well, I do like Ayaka. I still use Ayaka, the original Ayaka in my arena teams, so no judging. But I think it's, kind of strange that she's coming out now.
Yeah, this unit was. I don't think she was like technically part of the Lightning banner in JP. She was kind of like one of those just units we just throw in there because why not? Um, but yeah, as you can kind of expect, most people probably never even heard about this unit. She's called like Dressy Ayaka in JP, but I would highly recommend that everyone skip this unit. Of course, you do you. If you want to pull for her, by all means, but this is like the definition of a filler unit. If you thought Final Fantasy IV Lastwell or Final Fantasy I Reign were filler units, wait till you see Ayaka's kit. She's just a fan service unit that really doesn't have a purpose.
Yeah, I think I'm actually more excited for Carlette just to be able to clear some inventory space.
Yeah, Carlet's finally here. They said that she'd be coming in August, so August 31st still counts, right?
Yes, it does. I think it was kind of funny during the live stream. I feel like there was like a million comments being spammed about Carlet, and it looked like somebody off screen actually leaned over to Tony and said, "Let's shut these people up and give them Carlet by the end of the month or something." That's kind of how I felt when I was watching the stream.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, she is still, depending on your party, usable and okay. Um, Not like the best unit ever, but strong, definitely useful, especially on a. I think the only party she really fits onto is either a party led by Rain, which is probably a fire party, or a Zidane party. She doesn't have any other categories that are relevant to fit into leader skills.
Interesting.
But the banner is the typical giveaway banner when they know a unit is no good, like the X2 Riku, not X2 Riku, the which one was it? The Al Bed Riku, etc. The fan service units. It's basically what is it? Usually 20k, and they give it away. So what is it this time? It's 7, 11, 16. What? It's like 26. Okay, I guess even the throwaway freebie units are getting price increases on Global. What is going
Yeah,
on?
I suppose the price of goodness in Ayaka is going up. I suppose.
I mean, these like trash banners where they give away the unit have always been. It's always been 20k, right? Or is it 15? I think it's 20k for the previous times they've done this.
Yeah, and if I remember right, this is probably like our fifth Ayaka unit or something, and I think one of the other ones, like the Secure and Ayaka one, I think that was another like bundle unit or something. So that Ayaka hasn't been treated the greatest over the years, except for the cow Ayaka. She's pretty good, but yeah, the typical for Ayaka.
Yeah, crazy. Price increases on the skip units too. But okay. So as far as what the unit does, she has 88 brakes, which are too low. She has like 50 resist all with partial uptime, which is laughable. That's kind of it. I think she has 70% mitigations, which is again just way too low. That's all
Yeah,
she does.
pretty much. Yep.
Yeah. So her vision card is again just super generic and skippable, just straight up worse in every possible way, as opposed to Alina's card. Um, yeah, real bad vision card. And then even the gear isn't all that impressive. Like the TMR is a two-handed staff with very low stats, and then I guess the STMR could see use. It's a 100 magic clothing that only females can wear, and it has 150 double hand for magic. So I guess that's good. I guess
Yeah,
it's a good STMR.
when I look at it, I think of like I think Kuja's STMR is very similar in that it's for I think it's for males only. So this is kind of feels like the female equivalent of Kuja's because he has I think about this 100 magic on his and the double hand too. So I mean it's definitely useful. I just think it's and the rest of her I mean that staff is just terrible. So I don't know. I think 100 magic on clothes has probably got to be the highest magic stats other than the Clash of Wills gear, I would think, at this point.
For clothing, it is. We do have better for heavy armor. Louise's STMR is 110. I think Emperor's is as well.
Yeah, and I think Golbez has upgraded armor too. That's probably better. But for clothes, I think this might be at or near the top, other than the cow gear.
Mm-hmm. And the only other thing notable about her is her leader skill. She is a 500% leader for the bonds category. Now, the bonds category is basically like fan service units. Not fan service, but fan favorite style units. So, like seasonal units, fan contest winners. For example, Malphase is a bonds category. Ultimate Regina is the bonds category because she was actually a fan vote winner in the JP server. Stuff like that. That being said, it's not a category where you can build like a cohesive team, so you're not going to go to like Dark Visions with the Bonds team. That's just not going to happen. I will say, though, there are a couple of EX fights that are locked to Bonds only. I would never in a million years say pull Ayaka for that case, but that's probably the main use you'd ever use for her, is to lead one of those Bonds locked category fights. That said, those fights are not that hard, and then if you've got like the new Malphase, if you've got Ultimate Regina, etc., you're going to kill them in 1 or 2 turns with no leader skill anyway, so not that big a deal.
Huge skip.
And then Carlet is Awakened. So basically she's a an SLB hybrid finisher. Actually, no, she's not a finisher. Her SLB is Triple Bolting Strike. And she has an 850 hybrid modifier for her SLB, which is a big, distinction. Anyway, she hits decently hard. Doesn't have good amplify, so you're gonna have to give her an external amplify, either a vision card or someone in the party to do that. But she can hit hard, I guess.
Yeah, and where would she fall? I guess you have to calculate it later, but where would she fall on your damage charts? Kind of middle top, or
from like a really quick calculation that I did earlier, it was around Zac in Dark Visions. And we'll just real quick load this up and take a look at it. So Zac, I remember I compared somewhere right around here, so around 600 billion approximately. So far from the top, but usable.
Not on the bottom either, so that's good.
So she's okay-ish.
She probably would have been a lot more relevant like 6 months ago or a year ago, whenever we were supposed to actually get her.
Yes, that's the thing. So like someone Zac's level these days is like, oh, that's okay, but not great. But yes, 6 to 8 months ago, whenever she was supposed to come out, it would have been amazing. She would have been one of the top damage dealers, and that's probably why they skipped her for 6 months, is because she's free, so therefore they don't want to give her on time. Then again, to be fair, in JP, the reason she was so strong is because in JP she cost literally thousands of dollars to get. She's a cash only unit for Ultra Whales in JP. So
like a Lauren style or one of those old units. Yep.
Yep. Lauren, Medina, and Carlet and Chizuru now are the cash only units in JP, and because of that, they're a stronger power level. And then Global made them basically free on Global. Well, actually, they were regular banner units in the 7-star era, but now they can be ULC'd, so that basically means free.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's the units for the month or the week. And then we're getting the Final Fantasy XIII dungeon. So this was Lightning's event dungeon, which we kind of figured was going to be skipped. I guess instead of skipped, they're using it as a filler. So that'll be your farming event for this week. You take Final Fantasy XIII units. You get some really, really bad gear for doing it. But you also get some Lapis and some, EX tickets, etc. So do it.
Yeah, is your sense that, and maybe is I mean, I would think the rest of the 13 banners got to be coming soon. I mean, why wouldn't you bring out Vanille and Saz? I mean, they just seem to kind of fit with the Lightning release, but I don't know. Global does their own thing, I guess.
My suspicion is that they are hoping that most players are in the dark about the breaker situation, and by skipping Cater entirely, and then by either delaying or skipping Vanille, they're hoping more people are fooled into pulling for Elespirus, is my assumption. Is why they're either skipping or delaying the good breakers. They want to sell you the terrible breaker first, then release the good breakers and make you pull again, not realizing you just dumped 45k on Elespirus for no reason.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me, but it's thankfully I have not fallen for that trap. I'll just leave Elespirus alone and wait for the good stuff to come.
Me too, absolutely. And then we're also getting, this is the, for those of you that haven't been here for Riser the first couple times, I think we have 2, maybe 3 of them on Global at this point. More if you spent your anniversary currency on him. I hope you didn't, but I guess you could have. You're getting another one, and now you're getting the level 130 free stat pots, etc., etc. And technically, if you really want to, you could. Oh, actually, you can't because you can't get the. I was going to say you could farm more fragments and EX3 them all, but if you did all the previous events, they're already EX3.
Yep.
In any case, he's now a free permanent unit. He'll go into the key dungeon if you don't get him this week, but farm it if you want to or not. It doesn't matter. He's not really relevant, but there he is.
Yeah, well, he falls into the bonds category as well, right?
Yes, he does. He does.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Okay.
And they're going to give you bonus currency on that as well. Also, we're getting Master Crown special quest for Roka. So in JP, every now and then they'll just not bother making a stage, and they'll stick like a crown on just generic quest, which is totally random stuff like use 10 arena orbs, run 10 dungeons, send 5 gifts out to players, etc. Just random stuff you're doing any day. And once again, or now Roka is going to be done the same way. So in effect, her crowns are free without having to do any kind of stage.
Yeah, I guess my only, I don't know, concern with that is it with the old Master Crown fights, this unit specific ones, Lapis came with that, and VIP coins and Super Trust Moogles, and so I don't know if that stuff's being distributed out someplace else or if that's just being cut. But a lot of these, using your billion Chris that you have to awaken abilities is cool, but I'm also afraid that we're losing some of the rewards as well in that process.
For sure. That definitely happened with Cyan and Dark Fena in the recent past. Wasn't there some... Oh, actually also some others. Diverti, Milo, all those. Yeah. We did skip those stages. I will say, though, Roka did not have a stage in JP. This is the exact same way JP did it. They just put hers on, login rewards, etc.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the same.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we're also getting awakenings for Nelica, Van Harma, and Ayaka. So Ayaka, I'm not sure if that's a global exclusive or that was JP and no one cared because she's only a 7-star and she's still only a 7-star. But you said she's on your arena team still, Tommy, so she's going to be even better now.
Yes.
And as far as Roka's abilities, what they do, they give her a field, they give her a single target 100 Earth Amplify, they improve her killers, etc., etc. So overall, better Earth support. The field is the big thing, though. And then Van Harma gets his upgrades, so does Nelica, and they become decent-ish. Van Harma is the Rebel category, and he is Earth Element, which is not quite as synergistic with the Lightning Party right now, but as I mentioned before, the Rebel category goes heavily leaning towards Earth. during Final Fantasy Tactics with Ramza as the leader, and he would fit on that party great. And he does decent damage. I do have a JP build calculated. It's a little bit out of date. I need to update that. I'll do that for Global soon for him and Delica, probably on Thursday after the builder, honestly. But he can hit decently hard, which is nice.
Yeah, it's good. I guess I'm not clear based on what they put here. What for Van Harma and Nilika, if their ability awakenings are free, or if they're more Chris type awakenings, or if they're. I assume they're not quests or stages.
Yeah, these in JP, it's all three. It's regular awakenings, free upgrades, and crowns. But his silver crowns are available in the tower. So his 150 Amplify, that's going to be from a quest in the tower. And then in the tower itself, which we're going to get to in a minute, he does have crowns. They're hidden in hidden, air quotes, in treasure chests around the tower. Just go to the wiki and get a map if you can't find them. And yeah, they're spread around the tower, and it seems like that's probably going to be the same way for this as well.
Okay,
so
makes sense.
And then for Nelica, same thing. Her crowns are spread around the tower in treasure chest. Her 150 Amplify is from doing one of the quests in there. And again, she becomes decent. She's not a rebel, I don't think she's a rebel. I think she only has like Brave Exvius and Season 4 categories. So she... Oh, actually... Yeah, I think so. So she's not quite as going to fit into many teams. Maybe a Zac party if you're going with Thunder. But her awakenings are decent, and they make her a lot better. Like, a lot better. She was relatively underwhelming on release, but these are a big help for her.
That's good. I like to see some of these units actually usable instead of just kind of cast aside. I mean, the ones from the first few seasons they just get overpowered, but these are still relatively relevant units, so it's cool to see them get updates.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And then there's the introducing the ticket exchange striking key. So it's not super clear about this. So you're going to get these tickets from doing events and campaigns, and you can trade them for, it says striking ruby, topaz, emerald, sapphire keys. The icon looks like the keys for the Chamber of Seals, the old event quest. And it looks like you can now trade these for the key color of your choice. That's what looks like to me. Don't you think so?
Yeah, that would make sense. Not that they didn't stock us up with a lot of these keys, but I suppose if you need a certain key and you've used all yours because you're a new player and did all those old quests, I'm guessing it's to help them continue to maybe farm out some of those old events that they didn't do.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool. So there you go with that. And then the interesting content for the week. So we're getting Garuda as one of the things. This is going to be the sealed tower, or whatever Global's calling it, and the new Esper. So in order to get this Esper, I make sure you read this right here. So many people in JP, myself included, were like, how do you unlock Garuda? No one has any idea how to do it. So you go to Season 4, and then as it tells you here, you go to Chapter 1 of Season 4 in Livonia. Then you go to this Special Forces training grounds. Inside the training grounds, you go in there, and there's a guy in the bottom left of the training grounds. You talk to him, you go through all his dialogue, you accept his quest. That will unlock the tower. Then you go back to the map. Then the tower is in the bottom right of the Livonia map. That's how you activate the tower. It confused so many people when it came out in JP, and myself included. So here is right here telling you how to do it to unlock the tower.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's like really hidden, like, where is it? But there it is. So it's got the whole little walkthrough right here.
Yeah, great.
And so what this is going to do is unlock the tower. Now, the tower is 2 levels. A 3rd level was added to JP very recently. We're not getting that one yet, though. So in the tower, there's 2 towers. The first level is oh, by the way, this is only, as you can see here, locked to Season 4 units only. So level 1, that's not that big a deal. It's a relatively simple level. There's this permanent, as you can see right here, permanent area effect that boosts fire damage. Honestly, you don't have to use fire, but if you have Tyvis, you should use fire. The bosses aren't too terribly hard. I did wipe once or twice going in completely blind on JP because I didn't know what I was doing. But overall, they're not super duper hard. And I definitely recommend you use the wiki because this tower is relatively confusing. There's a lot of puzzles in here with orbs that change colors. You got to turn them to the right color to unlock certain passageways. Definitely either go to the wiki or look for someone's video. I probably won't record the entire thing because it is so long, the tower. But I'll probably record just the boss fights. But as far as the puzzles, the wiki should have walkthroughs for the puzzles.
Yeah, well, I'm just happy to have some exploration type content that's not just, walk it through and, kill a boss and be done. This is kind of a little bit more old school how the game used to be with exploration, so that's good to see.
Mm-hmm. Now that's level 1. Then level 2 is so annoying. Oh my god. Okay, so level 2, first of all, is completely covered in mist. Like, it's very hard to see where you're going here. There's no map, by the way, until you go in. It's just like Madam's Mansion. There's no map until you find the map device to unlock the map. Also, level 2 is covered in thick, thick mist. You basically can't even see where you're going. And then there's this, right here. Boost chance of evasion. So everything in the tower, enemies included, have 200% evasion, meaning physical units basically cannot hit because no one in Season 4 can buff accuracy. So what it turns out, though, is I didn't realize this in JP when I did this, and I said this is pretty much terrible. Apparently, accuracy is not capped from gear, meaning if you basically load up every single slot of Tyvis with accuracy, gear, and materia, he can still be useful. And I'm going to try that on the global server. I've actually got a build. Let me bring up this build real quick that I saved to do right here. This is for people getting an example. So here is an example Tyvis build with 200% accuracy. So both accessories, 3 materias, double-handed weapon, plus his passives, all of that is 200% accuracy. And that should be able to hit the enemies in the tower. And I'm going to try that. Your other alternative is using like mages like Yish or Cal, etc.
Does evocation work as well then?
It does, but there's no evokers in Season 4, so
yeah,
there's no one that can do that. I guess you could summon the Espers, but no, not really.
Yeah, I'm still ishless, so that's kind of a big rip for me. So hopefully the Tyvis thing works, so I can actually do some damage.
And now I will say also, each time you kill a mini boss in the level 2, the field weakens by 50%. So if you can't gear to like a complete 200% accuracy, let's say maybe you can only realistically gear him to like 150, then you could just like limp your way through the mini boss with like Blizzaga and stuff, have Tyvis as a dead slot, or just have him miss half the time. And then once you kill the first mini boss, the field is lowered to 150%. Then your Tyvis should keep hitting, and then once you kill all 4 mini bosses, the field is gone entirely before you fight the final boss of the tower.
That's kind of a cool concept, though. At least it's something a little bit different. So I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm. And as far as the bosses themselves, again, I did lose my first attempt because I went in there completely blind. By memory, I think the first boss uses instant death, so gear for death immunity. I didn't do that on my first clear. I didn't realize, and that caused a wipe. There's a lot of Malbros in there, so status immunity is very important. The final boss is Igon. So bring Machine Killer. It's also an AoE fight because the hands. So bring AoE units. But again, it's not super challenging. There is a turn count mission though for the final boss. So the final boss you have to kill him in like 4 or 5 turns for all missions, which is very hard without Tyvis. But the good news. By the way, the good news is once you kill mini bosses and finish the level, the field is permanently reduced. So you could go in there with like a really, really slow party and do it and get rid of the fields, then go back in, ignore all the accuracy stuff, and you don't need it anymore because it's literally permanently gone, including future runs. And you can go in there and re-clear it for the turn count mission.
Yeah, it sounds like it makes it a bit more doable to do it that way. So cool.
Hmm. And then after doing all that, again, oh, right here, confirmation. So silver crowns are going to be in the tower for these two. So there you go. Also, we're going to be able to upgrade Van Harma's armor from the tower, and then Nelika's TMR. It becomes actually one-handed. She becomes a true dual-wield unit, by the way, in her upgrades, which is and she does have the 8 times chain cap, so she becomes really good,
Yeah,
really
great.
nice. And then, so all of that, and that will unlock Garuda after doing all of that. Then Garuda unlocks on the world map. Now, Garuda is similar to Bahamut and Ashura in that there's 2 ways to do it. You can either go in there and just play Simon Says. Garuda will say things like, hit me with lightning magic, hit me with wind magic. And you do that and only that for a few turns in a row, and then Garuda surrenders, you win Esper Unlock. So very easy to unlock as long as you just follow the prompts, and everyone can unlock him. There's also the challenge mode, which turns on like extreme mode if you attack him normally. Then it'll be like, Ashura 3-star or Bahamut 3-star, where the fight is kind of crazy, and you can do it for a cosmetic medal only. So that I will definitely be trying to do.
Yeah, is Garuda, again, never having played JP, is he a useful Esper? Like, I mean, obviously Bahamut and Ashura are, have a lot of utility in their kind of kit of goodies that you can upgrade. So is he also useful, or is he more of a like an Esper you'll get and not use as much?
No, Garuda is very useful because Garuda has more killers. I forget the exact killers. I think it's Bird Killer. I think I'm pretty sure it's Bird Killer and 1 or 2 other ones. I think she has 3 killers, so it's pretty good Esper for that. As far as stats go, I think the stats are a little bit on the low side, but sometimes killers are absolutely worth losing some stats.
Yeah, and it looks like you can only upgrade her to 1 star at this point anyway, so she's gonna have a pretty small grid to kind of fill out. So I mean, at least I'll be able to use some of those bazillion super sites I have laying around.
Yep, and just like Bahamut and them, Garuda is expensive to level up.
Yep, not surprising.
So that'll be fun. And then the most interesting thing, we are getting the Chamber of Arms content in this patch. I have been looking forward to this for so long. So we're going to skip this for the moment. We're going to go straight down to the Sheraton thing. So Sheraton, well, I guess we can't do them out of order because you got to do this first. Okay, so the Hidden Chamber of Arms. If you've cleared the original Chamber of Arms, the 10, well, they're not 10-mans anymore, but the old 10-man trials. Now there's a new chamber under it called the Hidden Chamber of Arms, and that's going to be a new. Well, it should be a new series of bosses. JP has only done one and then completely forgot it existed. So this is the only one they've created so far. Is the Wicked Queen? How do you say this name?
Looks like Bialkua or something like that.
Wicked Queen Bialkia. I can't say that. The Wicked Queen, or the I used to call her the Princess Trial, but I guess she's a queen. Anyway, this trial is honestly pretty hard. Even with global exclusive units, it's going to be pretty hard to do. Now, this is kind of. I wonder if this is the reason they delayed this so much. In JP, people used the threshold skip bug to kill this boss in the turn limit. Myself included. To be fair, I did do it too because it was crazy insane trying to do this in the turn. I'm not sure what the lowest turn limit is. I think 12 turns, maybe 20. I don't know, but it was very hard to do. And we used the threshold skip bug to OTK and skip phase 2 and 3. Global, to my knowledge, has fixed the threshold skip bug. JP fixed it as well, but they fixed it after this came out. I think because it's been delayed so long, we now have the fix in, so we can't skip thresholds anymore, so you're going to have to do it the proper way, which is, I guess, good because it doesn't cheapen the encounter. I don't know. What do you think about it, Tommy? Like, because I really can't be hypocritical. I did the skip as well in JP. I did.
Yeah, I guess we'll see when it releases. With our global exclusive units, how hard it is. But I'm with you that it feels better that they would have assuming they did this, they would have fixed the bug before they release it so that it's actually a challenging fight versus some kind of cheese way of beating it. Especially and again, this may be the only one we get of this hidden Chamber of Arms, but it would be nice if it was not like a 5-minute fight. If there was actually some work to be done to beat it.
Mm-hmm. So this one is it's that very, very challenging. Pretty much everything is going on in the fight. You've got instant death. You've got all the statuses: stop, charm, berserk, dispels both sides. Like literally every mechanic in the game is in this fight. So threshold. There's thresholds. There's 2 different HP locks. One at 50, one at 20. The boss gets unremovable permanent buffs. Kaito will not help you because they have infinite duration. Yeah, just really, really hard fight. Even with global exclusives, I think it's probably going to be challenging. Definitely easier on global, like by far, because my plan is to use Richt. I'm sure lots of units will be great here. Ibarra is probably going to be great here. Lots of units will be good. In JP, I use Squall, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun to do.
Yeah, I'm always up for a good challenge too, so that's great.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you beat this trial, just beating it, period, doesn't matter how, just as long as you win the fight, missions regardless, you're going to get Sheraton the unit from doing that at EX0, but you're going to get the unit for free. Now, as far as this unit, again, she's mostly a trophy unit. The main thing I can say about her is her STMR is amazing. It's a 100% insect killer with some stats on it. That's super good. Other than that, the unit is a trophy unit. You're not going to use her. Like, she's a light maze that does bad damage. That's all there is to say. Now,
how do you upgrade her? I mean, is there shards that come with the Chamber of Arms fight, or how does that work to upgrade her?
For upgrading her, you're going to have to do right here, beating the special quest for Byakuya. So these are permanent quests. They're not time limited. But on the quest menu, you know how if you swipe to the side of the quest menu, you got those special quests like the Season 4 quest, the old stat quest, etc.
Yep.
There's going to be a category for this with all kind of special quests for beating Byakuya. So there's various different turn count missions. Like one is, I think, 20 turns, one is 16 turns, one is 12 turns. There's a mission for doing it with Sheraton in the party. So you've got to do a clear with her in the party. So basically with a dead slot, to be honest here. You've got to do a clear with only Season 4 units. That one I have not done in JP. That one is ridiculously hard. Only Season 4 units. You've also got to do some clears, some missions. I forget the other missions. I think there might be some for like elemental teams. I don't remember. In any case, you get the idea. There's a bunch of special missions, and after doing every single mission, you'll get EX3 for Sheraton. Yeah, mine is currently only EX2. I've done all the missions in... Well, let me clarify. I used the glitch to do all the missions. So, for example, I put Sheraton on the party, used the OTK, it didn't matter, and then I did, obviously with the OTK, you're getting the 12 turn mission and all the other missions as well done. So I did all that, and I got EX2. I have not done the final mission of Season 4 units only. Because even with the glitch, it still didn't work. It was too hard.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll adjust down some of the difficulty if they know that people couldn't clear it without some kind of cheese glitch, So we'll see.
I honestly hope they don't, because it definitely is doable. The reason it's hard is you need just very specific units. Because basically you need a magic tank, which means Season 4 only, you have to have Ridar. And then for the DPS, you kind of need, like, Snavlenka. You basically kind of have to have Snavlenka. For one thing, for the leader skill, but more importantly, for the actual damage. Because in Phase 3, the boss heals, and if you don't deal enough damage, the boss will just out-heal your damage. So...
Yeah, well, it sounds like I don't have either Snavlenka or Ridar, because I think they were on the same banner or in the same week, and I never pulled on that one, so I better hope I get a few copies along the way here to be able to tackle some of this.
Me too. Me too. I definitely cannot do it on day one. Even in JP. In JP, I have off-bannered Ridar, so he's ready to go. But I still need to off-banner Stavlenka before I can get the last mission in JP.
Hmm.
But so that's all for that. And then finally, the old Sheraton trial, the very very original Chamber of Arms boss. Remember the little tree with the two fruits in the limbs? That's getting an EX stage, so a third difficulty tuned for Neovisions. And you beat that trial, you'll get the recipe to upgrade your old Holy Wand to a two-handed weapon, which is basically just for Sheraton, but it is a two-handed staff for free, so it's nice.
And that's not a 10-man fight anymore. You have to just use a regular party now, right? It's not a...
Correct. All the Chamber of Arms, including the originals, have all been converted to a regular fight only. It's 5 units plus you bring a friend. Yeah, they actually took the 10-man mechanic completely out of the game.
Yeah, that's
it was supposedly causing glitches with brave shifting or whatever is what I read.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I don't know how old are those fights now? 4 years probably at least. So I guess mechanics change and you gotta adjust. And it probably for the most part, I guess if you're new to the game and you're probably going to go back in and smash a lot of those fights anyway with the current state of the game. So
for sure. Now, as far as the EX level of Sheraton, the new trial, this one is relatively easy. Like I think I'd used like 4 units and OTK'd it on JP just for showing, or I think I 2-turn cleared it in JP. It's very easy. So this one is the one tuned for new players, and then this one is the one tuned for veterans. So two different trials on Thursday.
Very cool. Lots of content.
Yeah. And as far as me making videos for all this, there is a ton of content. I'm not going to have videos for everything on Thursday. I think I'm going to focus immediately on my favorite one, which is going to be Byakuya. I'm sure I'll have like a quick OTK clear for Sheraton as well. But as far as Garuda's Tower, I'll probably save that for this weekend to make videos for it. But I definitely will make videos for it though.
Yeah, there's a lot to do with that tower. It sounds like there's quite a bit of running around you got to do, and then clear stuff, go back, and then fight Garuda. So it's there's a lot to it.
And that's pretty much it for the week. So is there anything else you want to cover before we end it, Tommy?
No, I think it's in spite of the fact that we got kind of a dud unit this week, I'm just happy to have. I mean, the last few weeks have been sort of blah with the content. I mean, we've had Vision World and Clash of Wills, and that's been basically it. So it's really nice to see us get some good content. I hope that the one thing I'll say is I hope Gumi doesn't rush this stuff out. I mean, I know the last couple weeks they've ended maintenance a little bit early, but hey, take your time, get it right, make sure it's not buggy when it comes out, so that we can all enjoy it and not have to have things go down or get fixed on the fly. So yeah, exciting to have content, that's for sure.
And real quick before we end it, I should have thought of this earlier. This is the kind of content, both the tower and especially the trial here, that you really got to have a properly built friend unit. So if you want to be helpful to your friends, all the listeners, you're going to want to set a Season 4 unit in one of your slots that is going to either be a Tyvis with 200% accuracy or something like Yish or Cal if you don't have Tyvis to help out your friends, because you can take a friend to this content. And then for this one, you're going to want to take or set a friend that is death immune and one of the good meta DPS geared for its human, insect. It's a 3 rare. I can't think. It's human, insect, and demon. Maybe. I think. I don't know. Maybe beast. I don't know. And you'll understand why when you see phase 2.
Yikes.
Yeah. So like Richt, Ibarra. What are some other like good damage per turn units on global, Tommy, that I'm not thinking of? Anyone else?
Is Rain maybe? I don't know if Aether Rain would help, but
I would say he's not great because he's got 5 turns of shift, then he's stuck in the pretty useless base form. It's great in Clash, but out of Clash, it doesn't deal any damage.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that grand shifting crap sucks. No, I think those are the big ones, at least the big recent ones that are going to be super helpful.
For my first clear, I'm going to try Richt. But Ibarra honestly might even be better just because she does have all the killers for free in the base form. So
Yeah, I mean, Rick is definitely a great go-to, but I think Ibarra still definitely could be a big help here.
but all right, thanks again for joining me, Tommy.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure, and hopefully I get to do this again in the future.
All right, see you guys later.
See ya.